Hello and welcome to episode 247 of the 77 Club. Harry, start with the socials.
It's actually 248. I'll just have an update.
Oh, well, I'm just doing a Ron Burgundy, and I'm literally reading the
it's 248. Sorry, it's been a long time, hasn't it? I've been away, but yes, that's 77 Club podcast on X. It's not Twitter no more. It's X.
Right.
The Wall 77 Club Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, Spotify. Please rate and subscribe.
Dan Bayliss is here.
Hello.
And Jack Williams.
Hi, everybody. Happy New Year and all that jazz.
Happy New Year. How long should that go on for? Just trying to gauge how long you should be saying. March.
I've had enough of it already, to be honest.
Like, is everyone back to work this week?
Yeah.
It's shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
Sorry, that was me. It's going well.
We are very professional this year. Let's start as we mean to go on. Harry, let's look at the festive period. We'll talk about Everton in its entirety as we normally would. But as a festive period as a whole, you and Jack were on the last podcast after the West Ham loss, last podcast of the year, saying that you'd be happy with 4 points from 9, and it is a big fat 9 points from 9.
Yeah, absolutely incredible festive period for Wolves, wasn't it? And the Christmas Eve fixture, I didn't know what to expect with that, but it turned out to be really good, enjoyable day, decent atmosphere. Obviously, it helped beating Chelsea. I felt like we were the underdogs getting into that game. I thought that was a game we'd potentially lose, but we were brilliant. Chelsea are a bit crap, but there we go. But yeah, impressive. And obviously Brentford, wild game, but impressive win. And then very easy, in my opinion, against Everton. So 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 these last 3 games. Got nothing to fault. We get accused of being very negative, particularly from my dad when he listens. So we've got to be really positive this week. That's just nothing to moan about. Top 4 is back on, or top 6, or top 8, whichever one you want.
Take your pick. Dan, what was your pick of the festive fixtures?
I don't think I can pick out one thing. We were just fantastic, weren't we? It was liquid football. I mean, the Chelsea game's just great to beat them. You know, I thought we were the better team and we got a decent result out of it. Brentford, we pissed them off the park, and Everton, we absolutely pissed them off the park. So I don't know what more I can say. I think the Brentford game was a little bit either way. We just were fantastic at taking our chances, which we've been woeful at for about 3 years. And that's what did it. But Everton were bad. Everton were awful, but we hammered them. We absolutely 5-0 wouldn't have flattered us.
Agree.
Jack, who was top of the tree?
Who was top of the tree? Nathan Collins, I think, for us. Because that's obviously 9 points. It's much more than I think even the most optimistic Wolves fan could have expected. So yeah, brilliant. And I seem to remember that we've had some decent Christmases in recent years, haven't we? Where we've done quite well. I remember obviously Lopetegui's first win was away at Everton last season, and then we've had other runs under Nuno, which I think were quite good as well. So it seemed to be quite good for us sometimes. But just talking back to that Brentford game there, because I don't think I could remember a player leaving for another club and then on his first game against his former club having such a nightmare. If anybody can think of one, then answer on a postcard and send it in, because
there is.
Go on.
Who's the guy? Right, dirty git. Was at Newcastle. It will come to me. Keep going. It will come to me.
You go.
He was at Newcastle.
But anyway, yeah, Nathan Collins basically giving the ball away for 3. Directly led to 3 of the Wolves' goals, and it's a completely different game then, isn't it? Because you think about that Brentford game and a mad 3 or 4 minutes where there's 3 goals in quick succession. Brentford then have a quick fire header that they should have scored. Really, it goes straight to Jose Sarr, and but luckily then Collins, it's the best game he's had for us. But I don't want to single him out. It's a bit harsh and it's old news now. But overall, really good, great performance against Chelsea. I think Chelsea, although they should have probably been 1-0 up at half time, they were the better team in the first half, and Sterling was a bit selfish. If you remember that chance that Jose Sarr just played out, and he should have squared it but tried to take it on and missed. So that was our let off, and then much better second half, and deserved to win, although we did make it a bit nervy at the end. And Everton, just probably the worst team I've seen us play this season. They were I was expecting much more from them, because although they've had a difficult Christmas and their form's dropped a bit, they were in great form just not so long ago. So didn't expect that, but happily take it. It's nice to have a convincing 3-0 win rather than just clinging on by a goal for once.
It's a great point, actually, with, especially when it seems to be us and we sell players or players move on and they come up against us. Off the top of my head, players like the one that sticks in my head is Stephen Elliott, who was absolute dog for us. And I think was he playing for Preston maybe or someone like that? I think he was in the Championship and just came to absolutely ruin us. And he enjoyed every second of it. And then Robbie Keane is another one. Especially coming back and playing for Jota. So it does seem to happen quite a lot. So I mean, it almost feels like we were due one. Speaking of which, about being due one, Harry, your 4-1 bet finally came in. We were getting calls and tweets and everything from lots of people going, has he put it on? Has he put it on? And just tell us about your bet.
Yeah, so it's 80-1. I used to always bet a fiver, but because I haven't won for so long, I bet £2.50. And I was messaging you lot, weren't I? I was like, at 3-1, I was like, this is coming in. I can feel it. But it was such a mad game. It was a bit like it could have gone either way, couldn't it? Brentford could have easily got a second. And then when the fourth went in, I did bottle it. I said to you lot, if it goes over 100 quid, cash out. And then it did. So we're at 4-1 up, and about a minute or two later, it went to £102. So I cashed out and absolutely bottled it. It would have been 200 if I'd left it. But still, it counts as a win. I'm taking it. 6 years of waiting, 6 years of hurt. The bookies have pulled my pants down for God knows how much, but we got a bit back. And always back 4-1. That's the logic. Always back 4-1 win.
And it goes back a long time, though, doesn't it, Harry? Since I think it last came in. We're trying to work out when exactly that was. And we reckon it's Leeds in the Championship. Because I think you cashed out then. They gave you a really, really hard time.
No. I cashed out. So
Bolton,
Leeds, I didn't cash out. Cash out. And then like a week or two later, we had Bolton. And we beat them 5-1. And I went to cash out at 4-1. And you lot were going, don't bottle it. And I didn't. And then we lost. And then we won 5-1. So I lost the bet. So I didn't listen to you. And this time you were telling me not to bottle it. So I thought, I ain't making the same mistake again 6 years later. I'm cashing out. And then we just won 4-1 anyway. So, well, thanks to Nathan Collins for teeing up that 4-1 win for us. Yeah, he was a big helping hand. And Hwang with his beautiful finishing, as we know.
Absolutely.
And also shout out to Lemina. I know Lemina weren't there for Everton, but he was fantastic against Chelsea and Brentford, wasn't he? He was head and shoulders above. And with what was going on he knew what was coming with his dad. Obviously, he knew his dad was really ill. To perform like that as well, incredible. And he got a great reception, didn't he, for the Everton game, even though he wasn't there. Great support from everyone, really.
Yeah, and obviously, thoughts with him and his family. Obviously, a really, really difficult time and a difficult time of year for something like that to happen. But obviously, when Max Kilman comes in after stabbing it home, and they're straight over to the bench, aren't they, Dan, to go and get the number 5 shirt, which was ready and raring to go, and it was slightly worn out, I think, by the end of the match. A nice touch and to match a nice finish. It
was lovely. Yeah, very well done to them all. And I thought the fans were fantastic. The way they chanted his name all the way through the game was great. One thing I did put a sound note on it. Did you see the Everton fans on Twitter kicking off about how it should be a yellow card and stuff and how someone should have been sent off?
Really?
It's so scouse. It is possibly the most scouse thing I've ever read on Twitter. I read it with a scouse accent. It was that bad. Victim FC. Jeez.
That's ridiculous. I didn't know that. That's ridiculous. That's true.
That makes no sense.
Why would it be an offence anyway? It's not taking his shirt off. It's just already off. It's just picking one up.
They were holding up all the corruption signs as well, weren't they? All the pink signs. The corruption of the -10 points. Victims as well.
Well, there's talk today, isn't there? There's talk today that they might get another one. They might be coming around again. Yeah, there's concerns against Forest and Everton. Don't talk about Man City. Man City will be all right. They've only got 116, so they're focusing on Everton and Forest again, just to make sure they really clean up the league.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that one. Yeah, I mean, they've done well to obviously make up the points as quickly as they did. Big shout out though, Harry, to Tommy Doyle, who I thought had a fantastic game. Was spraying some lovely balls around, almost Neves-esque sometimes. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, like him and Dawson were the ones who came back in after the Brentford game, because Santi Bueno started at Brentford, didn't he? I thought he did okay. But it's great to have Dawson back. Obviously, he scored, which is good. But Doyle, big pressure on him, because Lemina, as I said, was so good in the previous 2 games. But Doyle come in and he made a huge impact. Like some of the balls he was spraying about was absolutely brilliant. And he was getting stuck in. Him and Gomez were both brilliant in midfield. And we just completely dominated them all over the pitch. Everyone played really well. It was hard to pick a man of the match, to be honest. Like Cunha with a goal and an assist. Hwang should have scored. I don't know how he had one in the net, didn't he? It was offside. Neto come on. didn't he? And scored, and it was offside and skied one. So unbelievable performance. Aït-Nouri, he got a standing ovation, didn't he? When he come off a sub and he walked round the other side of the pitch, past the North Bank. He was fantastic. We're going to miss him. We're going to miss him. We're going to miss Swang. It's going to be hard to fill their spaces because how important they are to the team. But yeah, Doyle, big shout out. He's a good player, isn't he? Like he's been brilliant since he's come in. He's had to be patient. He's not been a starter, but whenever he's come on or featured, he's been really good. Calm head, isn't he? Calm head.
I have to say,
Bayliss, your mate Semedo, I thought was superb as well. He makes Sarabia look good, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. The runs that he makes and the space that he creates and the players that he takes away from that right hand side gives Sarabia the freedom to go and do what he does. Take it on the chest. He's got time, and he's got time to whip it in, which is what happened with the first goal. So I don't mean it in a massive negative way, but I think that the work that Semedo's doing allows the freedom for Sarabia to go and play his game rather than being hurried.
Fade away, and I'll carry on.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's fantastic that a manager is actually letting him get up the pitch. That's what's creating these angles, and we're getting balls in and scoring goals because we're actually committing men to going forward. I think Sarabia has been fantastic as well, though. The thing I wanted to move on from Harry's point, Aït-Nouri's first touch.
Unreal.
Jesus,
Sublime.
Like a bag of cement. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just sticks to his foot.
Took on 4 players at one point, and even that one move. God, he's just so talented on the ball. He just gets better and better, doesn't he, every time he plays?
But no, I thought how sorry, I was just going to say, but how has he fallen out of favour under the last, Lopetegui? Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it, really? Because there's obviously a player in there, and every time there's a commentator now on the TV, they're always like saying, "Oh, Aït-Nouri, he's got great feet." There's lots of big clubs potentially looking at him, and couldn't get in the team, 6 months ago. But
is he £9 million better than Ryan Giles?
Yes.
Yep. Ryan Giles of Luton fame.
It's a really, really difficult one, isn't it? Because to me, it's always been the problem has probably been his attitude. And Harry, I sort of turned to you and said, "Why is he acting? He's come off standing ovation. He clearly wants to play, which is great. But he almost looked pissed off, didn't he? That was my concern.
Yeah, well, that's a great thing, in my opinion. I know he's been accused of having bad attitude, and I think he was late to train a few times under Lopetegui, which wasn't great, but I like that. I like the fact he was pissed off that he come off for Bueno, and because he was playing really well, he's probably enjoying it as well. But it's probably the right thing to do because he is going, isn't he? So Bueno's got to be used to being on that left-hand side because he'll be starting. But absolutely fantastic player. The talent is unbelievable. And also, I just want to give a shout out to Toti Gomez because I think he improved the last few games. He had a bit of a really bad spell actually. But against Brentford, that header through to Hwang. Great header to set him up for the one he flicked over their head, and he was pretty solid. I thought against Everton too. They all were that back line, and as I said, Santi when he come in against Brentford did a job. Bit shaky for their Brentford's goal, but did a job. He don't look horrendous. But Dawson's just an absolute animal, and it was really good to see him get a goal. Actually, I thought they were going to rule it out for offside. They tried, didn't they? VAR tried to rule that one out, but couldn't be done.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, like Bailey said, I think 5-0 probably would have even flattered us, and it's just that some of the offsides were a bit silly really from our point of view. I think you do expect better, especially Neto. I mean, I know he's maybe a little bit rusty having just come back, but then again, it's great to see him on the pitch, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Also, one thing I would say about the Everton game is if Wolves had defended like Everton defended for that 90 minutes, all of our microphones would have exploded. It would have been absolute carnage because they were a car crash at the back.
Jack?
I think we all said in the group, didn't we? We all said that Everton just looked so poor and just they could barely string a pass together, really. And you think back to how few chances they created. They had that one steam rat which just hit the post from long distance. And apart from that, I can't remember anything else really. Where they're actually even barely in the game.
Albert Lewis first half, he put on wide.
First half he put on wide, didn't he? But that was that was on the break, and that was against a runner play, really. I think. But yeah, apart from that, we were dominant, and it's great to see. But if you just think about how bad we were at that game away at West Ham, And West Ham are playing really well now as well, aren't they?
Yeah,
so maybe that was a bit of a sort of a false reading. But we were so poor that day. I had no optimism really at all going over Christmas. I think we said on this podcast, and if we could get 3 points and win one game, then that's probably be happy. But to get 9 is a great achievement. You've got to give credit to Gary O'Neill, man, because every time there's a bit of negativity or it looks like we're falling into a little rut again, he gets the team working and he gets the team playing again. And some of the stuff we were playing, particularly against Brentford and against Everton, was just it was Ole football, wasn't it? It was just refreshing to see, and I think everyone's enjoying their football.
That João Gomez chance at the near post where he sort of just passes it, knocks it straight into Pickford's arm or forces the save. If that had gone in, goal of the season, done.
I think the clip of that just reminds me of like the prime Nuno years, the counter-attacking, flowing, brilliant ball carrying, just fantastic. Because I saw the clip of it and I was like, oh, when's that from? And I was like, oh, it's from the weekend. Because I genuinely thought it was like one of those on this day.
Another thing as well, I can't remember if we've just passed it or about to. I think we beat last year's total league goals already. And we just
have
past Christmas. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah. Said that was good for a goal this year.
Absolute madness. I mean, what was the pick of the goals from the festive period for you, Harry?
I really liked Hwang's, the one he flicked it over their head against Brentford. I'll tell you what as well. Lemina's header is Sarabia's cross, perfect, wasn't it? Some of Sarabia's assists have been brilliant lately, and I think you said to me, Sam, for the Everton game, his through ball through to Hwang for when it set up Cunha. The turn inside and the pass from Sarabia was amazing. When he's like that, you're like, yeah, fair play. You deserve to start, don't you? But when he's a bit off it, he can be off it. But yeah, I think the Hwang one, flicking over the head and placing it into the bottom corner. It's a shame he went off that game because I think he'd have definitely got his hat-trick if he'd have stayed on.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, actually. Do we have a clean sweep of Hwang's flick, or is there another one that's... To me, it's Doherty's. I thought it was just, to be busting gut to get in the box at that stage.
Yeah, he gets a bit fortunate. He's bad defended in it, really, because the defender just plays it to nobody and then he finishes it, but it's a good finish. So, but just think to what you're saying just then about us scoring goals, and just you couldn't imagine us doing this, particularly like under Bruno Lage. But what's that? Is that like 9 goals in the last 3 games? And when you think about that's 9 goals in the last 3 games, and think about how many we've had hit the post, ruled out for offside, like near misses, or skied it from positions where Hwang or Neto should have scored. Just the goal threat is back, and it's just back in a way that I didn't think we'd see after having these periods, particularly like under Bruno Lage, because it's
Cunha, Sarabia, and Hwang are just in hot form, aren't they? Them 3. Like they've just been in. Like Neto, if Hwang wouldn't be going, would Neto walk straight back in? I don't know, with the way them 3 have been playing, to be honest. But obviously, they're slotting for Hwang now. But yeah, those 3, they're linking up so well as well. Hwang and Cunha are always linking up really well. It's good to see.
Yeah, it seems that week by week, Cunha seems to just be getting better and better and better. And he's just been here just about 12 months. And
just remind me, because I've not really been following exactly what's going on with the Asia tournament and the African Cup of Nations. So we are losing Hwang, Aït-Nouri, and Babacar Traoré. And do we know exactly what date from? I suppose it depends when they're out, when we'll be back. Okay, so it's potentially until mid-February.
It's mid-February, yeah.
But we only have one league game in January. So league game left in January. So
yeah, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I think the Asia Cup starts maybe the day before, maybe the 12th of January. So then 4 weeks on from there. So
I think Hwang potentially, they should get to the final, shouldn't they? Korea, you'd think.
Yeah, they should win it, really.
Yeah, so I think he'd be gone for that full length, which is unfortunate. But hopefully Aït-Nouri's... Is it Algeria he plays for Aït-Nouri?
Yeah, correct.
They go out quick. I don't know.
He only switched in 2023. He only switched from France. I think. Yeah. So it's a pretty recent thing. Because I mean, to be fair, I bet you probably wishes he hasn't. Because I mean, the way that he's going and the way that he's
he might go into France.
He may well have gone into the French side.
It's a hard team to get into, though, isn't it?
It's very difficult. Yeah.
Do you want the dates for them both?
Yes, please.
So the Asia tournament runs from the 12th of Jan till the 10th of Feb.
Okay.
And the AFCON runs from the 13th of Jan till the 11th of Feb.
Pretty much the same then. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So it's not going to be too bad. We're going to potentially miss them for definitely 1 or 2 games.
The
Maybe
most
maximum
Man
4.
U in Feb, innit? 1st of Feb, Man U. No, are they playing the FA Cup? No, Hwang's gone, isn't he? Hwang flew after the Everton game, didn't he?
Yeah, gone.
Yeah.
So
It's the Man U one that's frustrating because they're so
Brighton
hot and
away.
cold. You just want a full strength team to go at them.
Brighton away is massive on the 22nd of January, is it? Because that's if we beat them, we can go like 8th if results go our way. The way the league's like shaping up, so that's a big game. It's a shame we ain't got them for that.
And we're always really good against Brighton. Well, we usually smash
Yeah,
it.
we 6-0 after.
So true. Yeah, that's one that stretches back quite a while, isn't it? Actually, from memory. Right. Okay. Let's move on to something else. Let's do January transfer window. Harry, your mate Fabio Silva. I said I would judge him at the end of the season. I don't have to. He had a shit season. He was crap, and he's gone and joined Rangers on loan.
The thing is with Fabio, he's had enough chances now. I mean, they give him the number 9 shirt this season. If that don't give you a kick up the arse to perform, I don't know what does. And Gary O'Neill gave him a decent run in the team at the beginning of the season, didn't he? And he kept missing chances. Granted, he scored against Blackpool in the League Cup, but come on. I reckon a slot would have a chance of scoring against Blackpool. Well, maybe not. But yeah, he's had his chance. The Sheffield United one was the final nail in the coffin when he come on there, I think. He was harsh, the penalty, but like he got booked as soon as he come on, didn't he? And he just don't quite cut it at the moment at the top level, unfortunately. And I think O'Neill and obviously the board agreed he should go out. It's a good move for him. He started Tuesday night, didn't he? Oh no, he come on. Sorry, he come off the bench. Didn't score, but great move for him. Should get plenty of minutes there, and I think that's the last time we'll see him. I think they will sell him in the summer. Although I think Jeff Shee, because when we've watched some of the Ass Walls over the years, Jeff Shee absolutely loves him. It's like it's his kid or something. Like I think he must have been the one that really backed that move at the time for that big fee. And yeah, I think that's it. He's had enough chances. He scored a couple of goals against the Albion, so he's always got that under his belt from a Wolves fans to remember. But yeah, I think that's it. It's a shame, but yeah, good move. I'm kind of glad he's gone now, though. I think it's about time.
Jack, do you think he's found his level?
I think he'll probably definitely score goals for them. I mean, you've seen that he's scored goals in Belgium and in Holland. It just doesn't seem to be working for him in the Premier League, because it is annoying when you think back to when you mentioned those two the goals against like Albion and during that COVID behind closed doors era. He looked like he was developing quite a lot, and he looked like he'd improved quite a lot, but he just hasn't quite stuck, has it? And Gary O'Neill obviously doesn't really fancy him for what he's seen in training. You mentioned then he just, he comes on, it looks like he's trying too hard, he gets booked straight away or gives away a penalty and these sorts of things. And it's those sort of mistakes you can't be doing with. So it's a shame, and it's a shame, but it was one of those moves at the time where everyone was like, this is either going to be, the best thing ever or a disaster. And I think we can now safely say it's pretty much a disaster. But best of luck to him, no bad blood.
I mean, disaster is probably fair, I would think. I don't think we've had many.
Not £35 million many, but we've had a few things we got wrong.
It's the price tag in it, yeah.
The price. If it was £3.5 million, we'd be like, it's perfectly fine. But it's just the price tag that came with it, isn't it? Really.
Guedes is a disaster, I'd say.
That's true.
Guedes is bad. Yeah.
I'd say it's arguably worse.
You're going to Villarreal, apparently, aren't you? Switching.
Yeah, I think Valencia are interested as well, having him back. But yeah, it's sad to see Fabio go. You think he had enough chances, Bayliss? I think that's just close the book on that one.
Yeah, plenty of chances. I think it's difficult with strikers, right? Because they need their chance to get in the groove and mature. And he has had plenty of chances at it. It could be in 12 months' time he's scoring loads of goals, but how long do you wait? And how long? We're not going to get a return on investment. So does it really hurt loaning him out and seeing if he gets there? Probably not.
Harry, another one that looks like he's going to be through the door is Sasha. Bit of a weird one. Don't really understand it. I mean, it didn't really fit into the system, but when you've got nothing else and you just let Fabio go on loan, maybe that does say that there were potentially some players coming in. But we're going to be very, very short on strikers. Yeah,
it's strange as well because O'Neill came out with those quotes, didn't he? Not so long back, saying that he's in his plans. So I'm surprised that all these reports are coming out now that he wants to go out on loan to Germany. I think it is. I've said it so many times on this podcast. I really like him. I want him to stick around, but as you say, I don't think O'Neill fancies the way he plays, and he's not in his plans, is he? So I think he'll go out on loan. Hopefully, he does well, and I think they will look to move him on, and we'll probably bring up another striker in. But if he did stay, I'd be happy if he did. I wouldn't mind it. So hopefully he does stay, but I think we will be seeing him go out on loan, unfortunately.
He just offers something different now, doesn't he, Jack? Do you know what I mean? Like, if something isn't working, you can do something completely different by just bringing on somebody who is going to cause you problems just because of the sheer size of him.
Yeah, go route one. And we've said before that on this pod, I know some Wolves fans have completely different views, but we've liked the way that he can, he's a big guy who can pass. He's very calm sometimes, I think, when he's under pressure. So there's some good things there, but he just hasn't had the minutes, has he, really? And that's despite having, particularly in the earliest part of the season, having what must be a great minutes to goal ratio. Yeah. But it's I don't know. Maybe he wants to go back to Germany. Not sure. Do you think they'll do another documentary when he goes about by Sasha?
That's the thing. Do a documentary on a Wolves striker and then he moves not long afterwards, it seems. Yeah. Do you think it's a weird one, Bayliss? Is it a bit of a strange one, or do you think, are you of the opinion that it does mean that somebody's coming in?
Yeah, new manager and all that. It doesn't fit into the system. Then you might as well let the bloke play football. But I don't know. We're a bit short for the next few months, so I don't know why we're going to let go a bloke in a position where we might need to call on him.
Oh yeah, I mean, if he goes, then he has to go after the Brighton game, really, doesn't he? I think we need to at least keep him for the next couple that we've got coming up, and that goes for really anybody. But
I don't think he's going to go in the next 48 hours. I think he will be there for that. But Harvey Griffiths, Alfie Pond, Tyler Roberts, and Oliver Tipson have been recalled from their season-long loan moves away. So they're back. They might be going to Abu Dhabi for some warm weather training. Do you think he just wants to assess exactly who he's got, and this sort of like semi-short winter break is a good chance to do that?
Yeah, maybe. The only two out of that list I've seen is Griffiths and Pond, because they came on against Blackpool. So he has seen them play. That Pond looks decent. That he's centre half, but yeah, I think it'll just be a case of have a look at them in the warm weather training. They'll be off on their travels again on loan, won't they? So yeah, they ain't going to break in, are they? I know we've seen a few youth players on the bench, haven't we, in the last few weeks because of lack of numbers. But yeah, they'll be gone back out, and I think hopefully we bring in some more senior players to fill the bench.
Who was the one who was on loan at Warsaw?
Harvey Griffiths.
Okay, this is the funny one because you can only play for two clubs in one season. He can't go back out on loan because he played in that game you just mentioned against Blackpool and came on, made one appearance for 10 minutes for Warsaw, and that's him done for the season now. So that's a bit of a mess up, really.
Oh, wow.
So that's something we need to work on, really. If we are going to be sending our young players here, whether it be to League One, League Two, they need to be guaranteed more minutes, because what good's that for his development for a whole season of football? It's not going to be good for anybody, is it? So it's a bit of a mess up.
No, Lemina, who is Mario Lemina's brother, has been linked today, Harry. I think he's only 18 years old, but some of the clips of him doing the rounds in the PSG younger youth sides, he looked very impressive, much like his brother, but a slightly more attacking midfielder.
Yeah, attacking midfield, as you say, very young. Thing is, with them clips, you can't really trust them, can you? But the clips going around, but he does look decent on them. I think he made one appearance for PSG, and he obviously he's young age, and it'd be a good story, wouldn't it, if he does come? When you said Noah Lemina, then I thought you were saying no Lemina for Brentford. I was getting confused. Yeah, Noah Lemina, and he looks just like him, doesn't he? He's an absolute doppelganger.
He is,
obviously. He is his brother, so that does make sense. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he does come. Apparently, I've seen reports that it's actually already been agreed, hasn't it, to come on loan, I believe. So he's already been out on loan. He's going to come back and then come to us on loan. But yeah, good story. Whether he'll actually play, because I know Enzo had a look in, has he? We signed him, a young lad, and he hadn't had any senior appearances. So good story, but let's see what's going to happen with that one. I hope he's good.
He can't be first team though, can it? Surely, I think he's
why
18.
We have him on loan then? Why get him on loan?
I don't know, but I don't think he'll be breaking in. He's only made one senior appearance, and that was not even for PSG. That was for Sampdoria in the Italian second division. So Yeah, because I got excited when I saw this earlier, and as you do, you Wikipedia them straight away, and I didn't realize how young he was. To be honest, I thought he must be a bit more established. So he's not going to be coming in at 18 and breaking into the first team immediately. You think it might be one even for the development squad, wouldn't you? But I don't know.
He's option to buy, do you reckon? I haven't read too much into it, but you'd assume if they're going to loan him, it's an option to buy. What's the point of loaning him, sending him back if you're not going to use him?
Yes,
I don't know.
Yeah. Danny Ings was linked today. Bayliss,
Yeah,
you're a fan?
Was he?
He was, yeah.
Danny Wings.
Yeah,
Danny Wings.
I'm very sceptical about all this. I was chatting about this earlier, funnily enough, at work. It just seems that the papers just pick on players that are in or out of form or might want to move and then just pick another club out the hat and name them. So, no, I'm not having it. Unless it comes from Fabrizio or Dave Azzopardi. I'm not listening.
Jack, who would you like to see, realistically?
Oh, this is a horrible question because it's pointless asking me because any of the players we do get in, I either won't have heard of or nobody will have heard of. They come from Portugal or wherever it might be. So yeah, that's my answer. I don't know.
The rumour mill's running riot at the moment, isn't it? It's running riot. There is loads of little rumours.
So they're Algerian striker. Did you see that one?
Who's that?
No.
Apparently, there's an Algerian striker that's scoring quite a lot of goals in the Belgian league for one of the teams at the top of the league, and he scored a shed load of goals, and apparently that was quite heavily linked. But again, it's paper talk rather than anything coming out.
And he'll be away with 8 Norway anyway, won't he? So
Yeah, exactly.
I saw we were linked with is it Barami from West Ham?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that one. That one seems a bit more realistic.
He would probably cost a few quid, I imagine.
Because
yeah,
last year, I know we were desperate last January, but we made some good signings last year, didn't we? Obviously, Lemina and Dawson.
Dawson,
Babacar,
Cunha, Babacar,
well,
Sarabia. I think we made 6. 6.
Yeah, good little window that was. But we were desperate at the time. I don't think we'll see that many come in this time, but it just shows they can get it right. And I'm sure we're going to speak about our player of the calendar year, but I think we all know it's Lemina or Dawson, don't we? So, and they came in January.
Yeah.
Which
that's a quick segment, wasn't it?
Which one would you pick, Harry?
For me, I think maybe it's recency bias because how good he's been. Lemina, I think you've got to go with Lemina, haven't you? But Dawson did really shore up that defence, didn't he, in place of Collins? We were leaking goals for fun when it was Collins and Kilman at the back, and then he came in at the turn of the in January and shored it all up. But Lemina was massive too, though, wasn't he? He really was. So and that little spell when Neves got suspended, and we got the glimpse of the first time of seeing Lemina and Gomez together. And that was a sign of things to come, which we've seen a lot this season.
That's the one I couldn't think of is Gomez, of course. That was
Gomez.
That was a year ago. Yeah, that was a year ago.
Yeah, free João Gomez, wasn't it? That big campaign. So yeah, great window. But you can flip a coin between the two. But as I say, recency bias. I think the player of 2023 has been Lemina. If you're looking back,
Bayliss, who is a player of 2023 for you?
I'm going to give it Dawson. Lemina has been absolutely fantastic, and I can't take anything away from him, but I just think Dawson's changed the team and made us look a lot safer. So I'm going to go Dawson.
Right down the date, I agree with Bayliss. Jack?
Lemina. So we split it 2-2 between us. Oof. Yeah, so that goes to show they're the two standouts, aren't they? Everyone knows that, and they kept us up last season. So
Lemina's captain material, I think. I'd love it if the way he's been lately, I could see him being captain.
I think it's the first time in a long time that there have been many leaders on the pitch whilst we're playing well. I think maybe a couple of years ago when you had sort of Matinho and Neves and Cody and those leadership roles, but I think for the first time, you're right. There's a lot of players.
The only one who would say don't come across the leader is our actual captain, unfortunately.
What?
Hillman, he don't come across the leader to me.
What?
Not vocally
really?
in that. I don't think he's not captain material for me.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
No. He's never fit it for me. But he's a great player, obviously, as well. But for me,
there's been rumours about him today. Go in it now as well. There's interest from West Ham or somewhere. Yeah. So it's just going to be like this for the next month, isn't it? But
yeah, he signed a new deal though, didn't he? So I mean, there's no.
Yeah.
If he goes,
we didn't speak about Hwang. He signed a new deal, didn't we? Hwang, 2028.
Yeah. 2028, the Korean guy on his little cake. Did you see that?
Has he not got a shout for a player of the year in 2023? Or was he a bit too He weren't good enough at the beginning of the year,
I mean,
was he?
For the
First
season,
beginning.
I think,
Yeah,
but not,
season,
but not the
yeah.
year.
Yeah, but the calendar year, no.
Calendar year, I don't think so.
Mm.
Let's move on to Brentford
Yay.
in the Cup. This is going to be a bit of a weird one because, like say, Harry, we've got some warm weather training to go to. Sometimes it's a chance to play a lesser team. How do you think Gary O'Neill will set up for this one?
Yeah, it's interesting because I personally, we say this every year, but the FA Cup has died a death a bit. The prize money's not nowhere near the Premier League prize money, so we will see a rotated team. But I hope we don't. I want to see us play the strongest team possible. But I think, in saying that, I think he might start Sasha if he's still around, because obviously he's had hardly any minutes, and he'll probably start Bentley in goal. But I'd start Neto, obviously. I think he comes straight in for Wang. I'd start Cunha. Yeah, I hope he goes strong. I hope he don't change it too much, because I think Ivan Toney's back for Brentford, isn't he? I think it'll be his first game back after his gambling suspension. He kept betting 4-1 apparently on his team every week. He got found out.
We'd
yeah.
seen him under the ban after last week.
yeah. So, but it's weird because obviously we've just played and we just beat them. It's weird going back there so soon, but I'd say we're the favourites if we're up for it, and if O'Neill prioritises it and wants to progress. I think we'll be the slight favourites, and then obviously they got the nice little warm weather training to look forward to, and their Instagrams will be popping if we do win. So yeah, I've got a good feeling about it. But I just fingers crossed he play. If he does make a few changes, then fair enough, like the goalkeeper and that, like I said. But please go strong, Mr. O'Neill. You brilliant PE teacher. Please go strong.
Bailey, so I'll bring you in after because you're an FA Cup fan. I'll bring in Jack now. How you think he should approach it?
So I agree with pretty much everything that Harry said, to be honest. Gary O'Neill at the moment, particularly after these last 3 games, his reputation with the Wolves fans is just going like that again. It's incredible. And the way the season is shaping up, as you can see, it's nice, but we're picking up points, but our league position doesn't seem to be massively changing. We're going to be mid-table, aren't we? Let's be honest. With an outside, the talk about Europe, I think, is premature at the moment, but I think we'll be comfortable. With the way the league is shaping up, we are probably 3 wins from safety. And I think that's fair enough. So what have we got to lose? If he wants to get more cash in the bank with Wolves fans, get us to another FA Cup semi-final. Because we're playing well. We can beat most teams in the league on our day. And especially with this opportunity now against away at a team we've just beaten, we've got 1 league game this month. You don't get better at football by not playing football and just resting players for a whole month. It can have the reverse effect. So as strong as you possibly can. I agree. Give a few players who are right on the fringe, maybe a look in, like the Netos, the people coming back. But I'd be really disappointed if there's 7 or 8 changes. Just make 1 or 2 and go and try and win the game. Because what have you got to lose?
Bayliss, is it European football potentially through the back door?
I'm not thinking about European football because I think we're quite a way off that still. But I would just like
we're in the FA Cup.
No. As in, I just want a cup run. I just want the excitement of a cup run and something more to look forward to.
I've still got PTSD from the last one.
Yeah,
I've actually blocked it all out. I mean, if I trek myself all the way to fucking West London to watch us lose with the 3rd team out, I'll be absolutely livid next week. So hopefully he does put out a decent side.
But you live in London.
Not far
all the way across the city.
All right. Think of the Wolves fans to cover Wolverhampton.
I promise you. I
don't understand London geography. Everyone goes, "Oh, move to London. It's brilliant." Everyone gets there and goes, "Fucking shit! I have to sit on the tube for millions of hours." I don't understand. I don't get it.
I promise you, Brentford is nowhere near anywhere.
Ah, right, okay.
Brentford is nowhere near anywhere.
Bayliss wouldn't come. What game is it you wouldn't come to? You wouldn't come to the Fulham game
Brentford?
the other week because
Fulham,
it would take you too long to get back. From
the
one side of the London to the other.
They stabbed or underappreciated. Let's do a score prediction, Harry.
Well, what do you think I'm going to say? No, obviously 4-1. No, I think if we go strong, I think we'll win 2-0 comfortably. If he messes us around, I think it might be a bit of a mad one and we'll lose like 3-2 or something. But yeah, go strong, 2-0 win. Let's go.
Bayliss?
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. He has to go strong, or else it's just why waste up a bit of the season? So
4-1, yeah? Oh.
2-0. Jack?
a lot of this also depends on the team that Brentford put out, doesn't it?
Mhm.
So that's the thing. And the good thing about us beating them the other week is that they're starting to look over their shoulder a little bit. So if there's one team that needs to prioritise the league a bit more, it's Brentford rather than us, and that could help us. Really, that could help us if they're the team that makes changes. So, I mean, after the last 3 games and the performances and everything, you've got a fancy us, haven't you? So let's say 2-1 Wolves.
2 on Wolves. I will go with 2 on Wolves. Bayliss has some bets.
I do. Weirdly, we are not favourites.
That's
Because you're away. Because you're away, innit?
Yeah. Brentford 29-20, Wolves 19-10, which I don't do decimal odds. Sorry. I chucked together a few scorecasts. Harry, just so you know, 66-1 on my chosen betting app for 4-1.
Oh, it's 80-1 the league, so it's gone down a bit.
I'm only using one app. In all fairness, you probably get better value elsewhere. Few scorecasts. I just chucked them out. Doherty's probably going to play, isn't he? So a 2-1 Wolves, Matt Doherty, 155-1.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah.
Same as the Chelsea scoreline. Yeah.
Cunha first goal, 2-0 to the Wolves, 60-1. And I think there's going to be goals in this game because both teams are going to make changes, which usually cocks them about. João Gomez to score first, 2-2 draw, 300-1.
It's
Don't see it
value.
Go on.
Yeah, could someone in the comments tell us? Because we don't know, do we?
Are there any replays? I mean, I think there will be. There are replays this season, and then next season there won't be. That's how I've read
Is it
it.
straight to penalties this year, or is it? Oh no, replays then.
It'll be a replay. Yeah,
Is the League Cup that goes straight to penalties, isn't it? It's the League Cup now. If you draw in the League Cup, yeah. In the FA Cup, there's still replays this season until. Is it only the first few rounds though? No, I think if you win it last year, only the first few rounds, like round 3 and 4, and then after that there was no replays, I believe.
It's because of the Premier League winter break is that they want to bring from the 3rd round onwards. They want to scrap the replays at rounds 3 and 4 so that you can sort of integrate the winter break into it.
There you go. In the comments, Ray said there is replays. So it's good for the small clubs, isn't it? If a small club gets a draw, they make so much money from a replay. So that's the magic of the FA Cup, really, and it's more about the lower league teams that get a bit of a run to this stage. So I can see why they're keeping it for this round.
I can see the money thing, and like it does make sense. But then you still have certain teams who will be going for promotion, and they won't want to have if they're a lower league team, they've played a fucking million games to get to that stage of the FA Cup anyway. So do they actually want an extra game? They're just mostly hanging on a huge away tie at Man United, and that's the money spinner because the one at home, unless it's televised, you're not really going to take much more.
What was the thing
cash.
in the first round proper that something like Cray Valley FC got all the way through to the first round proper and then played against Cholton and got a replay, and they played something like 5 league games in the year and were like miles behind everyone else in the league because all they've been playing with FA Cup games.
But that run probably kept that club going for about 4 years. Just the money off.
Well, they got 2 telly games, didn't they? So.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the thing. They want the replays. They want every game they can get, really, particularly if it's against teams from leagues high, a few leagues above them. So I like the replays, and I don't want them to change it, even though it looks like they're going to, just because people like Jurgen Klopp are whinging about it, even though they're teams with squads of 40 players and millions of pounds at disposal. Like, if you're not interested, just put out your second string. Like, Mo Salah can go on holiday for 2 weeks if you let him. Like, don't change something just because of that.
Back in the 90s, the final was a replay, wasn't it? If it was a draw.
Yeah.
I was listening to Ian Wright on a podcast. He made his debut for Crystal Palace. Came on. I think he got the equaliser, took it to a replay. How mad's that? Imagine go to Wembley. Like, right, come back in next week.
Yeah, 60s and 70s, 80s. There was
early 90s as well. I don't know when they changed it, but it was definitely early 90s and late 80s. God,
I mean, I agree because the final is the final. You don't want to go and have that experience twice for the same game. Yeah, so yeah, I totally get that. Let's move on to something else, which is oh, go on. Sorry, Dan. Were you going to?
No, he's annoyed. He wants to watch the darts. Go on.
The darts starts in 10 minutes. Come on.
It don't matter.
It's funny, but you're fucking interrupting me. What do you want? I'm trying to move on to the last thing we're going to talk about, and you're going, give me a rip. Sorry, yes, Wayne Rooney has been sacked by Birmingham City. Harry, I think it was 13 weeks that he was in charge. And I don't know how he keeps getting these managerial jobs without exactly pulling up trees anywhere, obviously, apart from the fact that he is Wayne Rooney. Yeah,
they've got like the Yank owners, don't they? That famous bloke.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's all linked. So I think they just got rid of that manager. They were 5th, weren't they? And he took them down to 20th. Didn't they do this a few years ago, Blues, when
With Zola,
were like 6th? Yes, they brought Zola in and he plummeted them down the league as well. They got exactly what they deserved. He should never have replaced the previous manager. And he's a dope, and he great footballer. He did well at Derby, to be fair to him, Rooney. When they were going through all that bad stuff, he nearly kept them up, didn't he? And they had like loads of points took off them. But do you see the leaked?
He got relegated.
Yeah, but they were so close. They were like a goal off it when they. But did you see the leaked DMs of Kai Rooney, his lad, saying that they wanted to sign Raul Jimenez and all that, and he was like talking a load of nonsense. Made me laugh.
That was just hilarious because it's just the football take of, oh, you must be a teenager or something. It's like, yeah, I know Dad's not been great, but they've been shit. Well, Dad's been shit as well, but that was literally the extent of it. And they're going to sign Raul Jimenez, but it is just funny, really, isn't it? It's just funny. Especially if you're sacking a manager who's got you basically in the playoffs. Were they in the playoffs or just outside? They were pretty close, weren't they? They were there or thereabouts. Exactly. And then from that point, I don't think the Birmingham City fans wanted him to come in. It's a classic case of an American owner who doesn't understand the game, just wanted a big name there because it's his club. And really good footballers don't usually make really top managers, do they? Frank Lampard, Wayne Rooney, great players in recent years.
I disagree.
Would you want them at your club?
I think great English players don't make good managers. Foreign players make brilliant managers. Ancelotti, Capello, Deschamps.
Gary O'Neill's a great English player.
That's true. He's the exception that proves the rule. But there are many. It does seem to be an English thing. But it's like
Sean Dyche.
Sean Dyche. Have you got one from the last 20 years?
Sam Allardyce.
Mick McCarthy.
He's Irish. Adam.
There is. Gerrard did all right at Rangers, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, he won the league with them. He stopped Celtic, winning like 13 in a row.
Yeah, that's true.
They just got luxury. Like Lampard's been at Chelsea twice somehow. He got Derby to a playoffs over the final. But
I'm not being funny though. One of us could get
Alf Ramsey?
One of us could get a managerial job in Scotland and have a 50-50 chance of winning that league, depending on which team you get. So that makes a big difference as well, doesn't it, really?
I think so. Nah, not if you were managers of Rangers with Fabio Silva there. Now you got no chance.
There you go. Well, yeah, I think they got what they deserved.
Hoddle?
Maybe.
Hoddle?
Who?
Yeah.
Glenn Hoddle?
Was terrible. That's the worst Wolves football I've ever watched.
No, but he's good at Swindon. Swindon and Chelsea was decent.
I'm not having Hoddle.
Not Swindon in the Premier League.
Naming British managers, but Hoddle was absolutely dog shit at Wolves.
He was at Wolves. Yeah, he wasn't very good at Wolves. I mean, he didn't lose many games. He didn't win many. Lambert or Butler? Which one?
On these sour notes, I'm going to watch the darts.
Let's go and watch a real British hero now.
Yeah. Okay, right. We'll let everybody go and watch the darts, of which, if you listen on the podcast, who won? Luke somebody. Yeah. Right, we'll say goodbye to Harry Mansell.
Yes, 180. I'll see you next week.
Dan Bayliss.
Cheerio.
And Jack Williams.
Bye.
Well, from one bunch of pricks, we'll go and let you watch another bunch of pricks. It's a goodbye from me. Goodbye.